Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow, and for the first time in your life, you feel like you own every single hour of the day. Not one moment slips away unnoticed. You move through your morning with clarity, tackle your work with laser focus, nurture your relationships without guilt, and still find time to grow, to create, to breathe, to live. Sounds impossible? Maybe. But what if I told you that mastering your 24 hours isn't about luck, talent, or working harder? It's about understanding how time works, how your mind works, and how to orchestrate both like a genius composer conducting a symphony. Today, you're going to embark on a journey to take control of every second, to bend your day to your will, and to transform not just what you do, but who you become. By the time you finish listening, you won't just manage time, you'll own it. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Myth of Time. Have you ever felt it? That fleeting moment when the day slips through your fingers, leaving behind only a blur of unfinished tasks, forgotten intentions, and a quiet whisper of regret. Imagine waking tomorrow morning, looking at the clock, and realizing that another 24 hours have passed without you truly living them. That sensation, that subtle, gnawing awareness, is the voice of time reminding you that it does not wait. It never has, and it never will. Most of us live as if time is infinite, as if each day is a gift we can squander without consequence. We drift from one hour to the next, caught in routines that blur together. Our lives are measured by minutes that vanish, not moments that matter. And yet, within that very same 24-hour stretch, lies the potential for brilliance, for transformation, for mastery. The secret is simple, yet profound. It is not more hours we need, but a mastery of the hours we already have. The first step in this journey is understanding the truth. Time is not your enemy, and it is not something to chase. Time is a mirror. It reflects the choices you make, the focus you give, and the life you decide to live. Every tick of the second hand is impartial. It does not favor the diligent or the distracted. It simply moves, relentlessly, silently, and without apology. Those who master their days are not granted more hours. They have learned to live fully within the hours given to them. Think of your day as a canvas. Each hour, each moment, is a brushstroke. You can fill it with chaos, confusion, and tasks that drain you. Or you can paint with intention, color with clarity, and craft a picture that is uniquely yours. Most people let others hold the brush. They allow obligations, distractions, and mindless routines to dictate their lives. But mastery of time begins the moment you take control of that brush and decide what your masterpiece will look like. Consider this: the most accomplished individuals you know, whether artists, entrepreneurs, scientists, or leaders, did not achieve greatness because they had more hours in the day. They achieved it because they treated each hour like it was sacred, like each moment was a stepping stone towards something far greater than mere busyness. They understood the hidden law of time. The hours themselves are neutral. It is what you do with them that defines the trajectory of your life. To truly grasp this, we must confront a myth we've all been told, that time is something to manage. The word itself, manage, implies control over something external, as if hours are objects we can arrange neatly on a shelf. But time is not an object. Time is a living experience. It flows, it responds, and it magnifies whatever energy and intention you pour into it. You do not manage time, you engage with it, you honor it, and you learn to move within it with purpose. Let me tell you a story. Imagine two people, each given the same day, the same 24 hours. One wakes with clarity, sets intentions, and prioritizes what truly matters. The other drifts, distracted by noise, emails, and the endless pull of obligation. By nightfall, their experiences are worlds apart. One has created, learned, connected, and the other has only survived the day, wondering why the hours feel like sand slipping through fingers. This is not luck. This is choice. This is the difference between surrendering to time and mastering it. The first principle of mastery is awareness. You must see time not as something you passively live through, but as something you actively shape. Each hour is an opportunity to craft your life, to make progress toward your goals, to nurture your relationships, and to feed your mind and soul. Awareness is the lens through which the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. Without it, even the longest day can feel empty. With it, even a single hour can feel abundant beyond measure. Another truth is that our perception of time is deeply personal. Two people can spend the same hour on identical tasks, yet one feels fulfilled while the other feels drained. Why? Because one is conscious of intention, presence, and alignment, while the other is lost in distraction and habit. Mastery begins with noticing where your attention is, where your energy flows, and how each decision shapes the hours you live. It is a daily practice of reflection, clarity, and choice. As we begin this journey together, I want you to understand that this audiobook is not about filling your schedule with more tasks. It is not about productivity hacks or rigid routines. It is about awakening to the profound potential of your 24 hours every single day. It is about creating a life that is deliberate, meaningful, and alive with purpose. This is the foundation, the first step toward a way of living that feels both expansive and deeply human. By the end of this chapter, I want you to hold this thought close. Time is not something that happens to you. It is something you engage with, something you inhabit, something you craft with intention. The hours are not fleeting shadows. They are your building blocks, your instruments, your allies. And the moment you recognize this, the moment you stop chasing time and start mastering it, everything changes. So as we move forward, carry this awareness with you. Watch your hours. Notice the choices you make within them. Begin to see the difference between living passively and living intentionally. This is not a promise of perfection, nor a guarantee that every day will be easy. It is the first key, a key that opens the door to understanding, clarity, and mastery. And now, as we step into the next chapter, we will explore how to begin each day with purpose, how to transform the very first hours after waking into a powerful launchpad for achievement, focus, and fulfillment. Because mastering your 24 hours begins not with the day as a whole, but with the very moment you open your eyes to its possibilities. Chapter 2: The Power of Intentional Mornings. The first light of morning is more than a signal of a new day. It is a whisper from the universe, a call to step into your own potential. Imagine opening your eyes tomorrow and feeling not a pull of obligation, but a surge of possibility. The world is waiting, but the difference between ordinary and extraordinary begins before the sun fully rises, in the silent golden hours of your morning. Most people wake to chaos. The alarm rings, phones flicker, notifications scream. They stumble through the first hour, reacting to the demands of the world instead of shaping their own lives. And by noon, their energy is drained, their focus scattered, their intentions forgotten. But there is another path. A path walked by those who understand that mornings are sacred. They are the architects of their day, the conductors of their own energy, and the guardians of their most precious moments. An intentional morning is not about perfection, it is about alignment. It is a quiet declaration that this day, these hours, and this life will not be wasted. The first hour you dedicate to clarity, movement, and reflection sets a tone that ripples through every decision, every action, every thought. It is the difference between drifting through a life that happens to you and stepping fully into the life you are meant to create. Consider this: the mind is a garden, and the first hour of your day is the soil. If you plant weeds of distraction, negativity, and reactive thinking, they will grow, entangling your focus and energy. But if you plant seeds of intention, gratitude, and purpose, they flourish, and the harvest lasts far beyond those first 60 minutes. This is not theory. It is the lived experience of anyone who has ever felt their days flow effortlessly, their work inspired, their presence magnetic. Let's break it down. Start with stillness. Before rushing into obligations, take a moment to breathe, to center yourself. Feel your body awaken, notice your thoughts, and anchor your mind in the present. It is astonishing how much clarity emerges from a few conscious breaths. Stillness is the compass that guides your day, giving you direction before external demands pull you astray. Next comes movement. It does not have to be intense, nor lengthy, but the body in motion awakens the mind. Stretch, walk, or engage in exercise that makes your blood pulse and your energy rise. Every genius, every high achiever understands that their mind performs best when their body is honored. Movement in the morning is not just physical. It is mental, emotional, and spiritual. It signals to your brain that the day is beginning, not as a burden, but as an opportunity. Reflection follows. Journaling, meditation, or even a few minutes of quiet thought allow you to set intentions. What matters most today? What will I create? How will I invest my energy so that it compounds into growth, satisfaction, and fulfillment? Reflection turns the intangible, your goals, your values, your vision, into tangible actions. It is the bridge between dreaming and doing, between the person you are and the person you intend to become. And then, planning. Not a rigid schedule that constrains, but a deliberate outline of priorities. Identify your top 3 tasks, your non-negotiables, the work that moves the needle on your life. The rest can be filtered, delegated, or let go entirely. Intentional planning ensures that your energy is directed toward what truly matters, not what screams the loudest or demands attention first. Here is the truth many never grasp. The morning is a multiplier. A single hour spent with awareness, movement, reflection, and planning can create the effect of several ordinary hours. It elevates your productivity, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your emotional resilience. But more than that, it shapes your identity. When you start each day intentionally, you begin to see yourself as someone who acts with purpose, someone who is not a passive observer in life, but an active creator. The beauty of intentional mornings is their universality. You do not need wealth, status, or a special environment. All you need is the decision to honor the first hour, to claim it as yours, and to align it with your highest values. It is a practice of sovereignty, a daily reclaiming of your life from distraction, habit, and mediocrity. Let me tell you something. The moments before sunrise are not just early, they are transformative. They carry a quiet power that the rest of the day cannot replicate. In those hours, the world is still. Noise has not yet arrived. Opportunity is pure, unclaimed, waiting for your attention. Those who seize it experience a ripple effect, a sense of calm control, a flow of energy, a clarity of purpose that colors the hours ahead. Yet, intention alone is not enough. Consistency is key. One deliberate morning is a gift. A week of them builds momentum. A month of them transforms identity. You are not just shaping your day. You are shaping your mind, your habits, and the trajectory of your life. The first hour becomes the anchor, and from it radiates focus, discipline, and fulfillment. Now imagine a day that begins like this. Your mind clear, your body energized, your priorities defined, and your purpose alive. Every task feels lighter, every interaction more meaningful, every hour amplified. That is the power of intentional mornings. It is not luck. It is not an accident. It is a choice you make every day, the moment you open your eyes and decide to step fully into your life. As we prepare to move into the next chapter, carry this thought with you. The hours after waking are not empty space to be filled. They are seed. What you plant in those first moments determines what will grow throughout your day, your week, and ultimately, your life. Mastering mornings is not about control. It is about awakening. It is the first real step toward mastering your 24 hours, every single day. And so, as you turn the page, be ready to discover the art of focus, the next essential skill that will transform the hours you have into results, energy, and fulfillment, far beyond what you imagine, because the morning is just the beginning, and what follows can change everything. Chapter 3: The Art of Focus. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a single candle flickering in the darkness. Its light is small, fragile, yet unwavering. Now imagine pouring all your attention into that one flame, shielding it from wind, noise, and distraction. Suddenly, the darkness retreats. The world sharpens. Every detail becomes vivid. This is the power of focus, the ability to direct your energy with precision, to illuminate the path ahead, and to create clarity where chaos once reigned. Most of us drift through life as if we are leaves on a stormy river, carried by currents of distraction, pulled in countless directions, never fully anchored. Emails, messages, social media, endless to-do lists, each one demanding a fraction of our attention, each one eroding our capacity to engage fully with what matters. And yet, focus is not just about ignoring distractions. It is about choosing deliberately where your mind, energy, and heart reside. It is the difference between merely existing and truly creating. Focus is not a skill reserved for geniuses or prodigies. It is a discipline that can be cultivated, honed, and strengthened every day. And the journey begins with awareness. Notice where your attention drifts. Notice how often your mind scatters across tasks, worries, and interruptions. Once you see the patterns, you can begin to reclaim control, like a gardener removing weeds to allow the strongest plants to flourish. Let's explore why focus is so transformative. Imagine you have an hour to work on a project that matters deeply to you. You commit fully. No phone, no emails, no background noise. The depth of your attention allows you to move faster, think clearer, and produce work that is exponentially better than if you were divided, distracted, and scattered. Focus transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. It is the multiplier of your time, the lever that turns potential into accomplishment. But focus is fragile. It must be protected, nurtured, and respected. Geniuses understand this intuitively. They design their environments to minimize disruption. They honor their energy cycles, tackling high-priority, high-impact work during peak hours. They remove anything that fragments their attention, because they know that even small distractions steal more than moments. They steal momentum, clarity, and creative power. Focus also demands intention. It is not enough to try to concentrate. You must choose a target, commit to it, and guard it fiercely. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you train it to concentrate deeply, the stronger it becomes. And the stronger it becomes, the more you can accomplish in less time, with less effort, and with a profound sense of mastery. Consider a moment in your own life when you were fully absorbed in a task, so immersed that time seemed to vanish, that the world outside disappeared. Perhaps it was a project, a piece of writing, a conversation, or even a hobby. That feeling, the flow state, is not magic. It is focus in its purest form. And the good news is that it is accessible to anyone who chooses to cultivate it. Distractions are inevitable. Life is noisy. But mastery of focus is a practice of choice, not circumstance. You can create rituals that signal your mind to enter a state of deep engagement. You can define boundaries that protect your attention. You can train yourself to notice when your focus drifts, and gently, deliberately, return it to what matters most. Over time, this practice transforms not only what you do, but who you become. A person capable of intentional action, profound creation, and meaningful presence. Focus is also intimately tied to energy. Even the sharpest mind cannot sustain concentration when the body is depleted or the emotions are scattered. High achievers understand this. They pair periods of intense focus with rest, nourishment, and movement. They honor the connection between mind, body, and spirit, knowing that true concentration cannot exist in a vacuum. It thrives when all aspects of your being are aligned and supported. Now let's address a common misconception. Focus is not about rigid control or obsession. It is not about ignoring the world or shutting yourself off. True focus is fluid and alive. It allows for creativity, flexibility, and insight. It is the clarity that emerges when your attention is deliberately directed, yet your mind remains receptive to opportunity, inspiration, and growth. It is discipline and freedom combined, working together in harmony. To cultivate focus, begin with small, deliberate practices. Set aside blocks of uninterrupted time. Remove your phone, close unnecessary tabs, and create a mental container for your work. Give yourself permission to dive deep, knowing that for this period, your attention is sacred, your energy protected, and your intentions clear. Repeat consistently. With each session, your ability to focus strengthens, your clarity deepens, and your capacity for meaningful achievement expands. Focus is the gateway to mastery. Without it, even the most brilliant plans, the most ambitious goals, and the most inspired visions remain scattered and unrealized. With it, even small efforts multiply into profound results, and ordinary hours transform into extraordinary experiences. It is the lens through which your life sharpens, clarifies, and accelerates. As we prepare to move into the next chapter, carry this thought. Focus is not an abstract concept. It is a living practice, a conscious choice, a reflection of how you decide to engage with your life. The hours you spend fully immersed in purpose are the hours that shape your destiny, define your character, and unlock your genius. And so, in the next chapter, we will explore the role of energy, the unseen force that powers focus, creativity, and sustained achievement. Because even the sharpest mind cannot operate without fuel, and understanding the rhythms of your energy is the next essential step toward mastering your 24 hours every day. Chapter 4. The Science of Energy, Not Willpower. Imagine trying to push a car up a hill with nothing but sheer determination. You strain, sweat, and exhaust yourself, but the car barely moves. Now imagine the same car, but this time the engine is fueled, the wheels greased, the path clear, effortless progress. The difference is energy, not willpower. This is the truth many overlook. Time mastery is not fueled by forcing yourself. It is powered by understanding, nurturing, and harnessing your energy. Most people operate as if energy is infinite. They drag themselves through mornings, fueled by caffeine, evenings by sheer stubbornness, and every day by fleeting bursts of determination. They confuse exhaustion with productivity and activity with progress. And yet, without energy, even the clearest intentions and the sharpest focus are powerless. Energy is the silent currency of achievement. It determines not just how much you can do, but how deeply and meaningfully you can do it. The first principle is to honor your natural rhythms. Your body and mind are not machines designed for uniform output across 24 hours. There are peaks, valleys, and subtle cycles. Times when your mind is alert and creative. Times when your body craves rest and recovery. Genius lies not in ignoring these rhythms, but in aligning your most important work with your highest energy periods. This is where effort transforms into excellence. Think about a day you've experienced at your best. Perhaps it was a morning when ideas flowed effortlessly, tasks were completed with precision, and your focus felt limitless. You likely were in tune with your natural energy cycle. Now contrast that with a day spent forcing yourself to work, when your body or mind was depleted. Every minute felt heavy. Every decision required struggle. every task sapped more than it produced. The difference is not luck, it is awareness of energy. Energy management is not only physical, it is mental and emotional. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions consume power, often without your notice. Negative self-talk, unresolved tension, and constant stress act like leaks in a vessel, slowly draining the reserves that could fuel peak performance. Mastering your 24 hours requires sealing these leaks, choosing thoughts, environments, and interactions that energize rather than deplete you. Nutrition, movement, and sleep are the foundation. Your body is the engine of your life. Without proper fuel, it sputters. Without regular movement, energy stagnates. Without rest, creativity dulls, focus falters, and motivation disappears. The science is clear. Energy is cyclical, dynamic, and responsive to the choices you make. Treat your body as the priority it deserves to be, and your hours will feel expansive rather than endless. Yet energy is also cultivated through intention. Mindfulness, meditation, and focused breathing are not luxuries. They are tools for replenishment. Even a few minutes of deep presence can restore clarity, calm, and vigor. High performers understand that deliberate restoration is not wasted time. It is essential preparation for sustained output and creativity. The illusion that rest is indulgent is one of the greatest obstacles to mastery. Consider the most productive moments of your life. Chances are they were fueled by more than determination. They were energized by clarity, alignment, and presence. Energy transforms effort into flow, struggle into progress, and chaos into structure. And the most remarkable part, energy can be managed. It is not fixed or arbitrary. You can cultivate it, protect it, and deploy it strategically, hour by hour, day by day. Another critical element is emotional energy. Emotions are not abstract. They are forces that ripple through every choice and action. Anger, fear, resentment, they drain. Gratitude, curiosity, passion, they amplify. High achievers consciously regulate their emotional states, choosing responses that enhance energy rather than deplete it. Every emotional decision becomes a strategic allocation of your most valuable resource. To harness energy effectively, you must also embrace the power of boundaries. Learn to say no to demands that drain your focus. Learn to protect time and space that fuel your vitality. Learn to remove distractions that fragment your mind and scatter your will. Boundaries are not limitations. They are amplifiers. They ensure that your energy flows to what matters most, not to what merely screams the loudest. There is a profound lesson here. Willpower alone cannot sustain greatness. Forcing yourself to work when your mind, body, or spirit is depleted is like trying to light a fire with wet wood. It may smolder, but it will never blaze. Energy, when managed and nurtured, ignites your potential. It is the force behind focus, creativity, and productivity. It is the secret that distinguishes those who do more in a day than most achieve in a week. As you reflect on your own life, notice where energy leaks occur. Perhaps it is in late nights, filled with distraction, mornings spent reacting instead of creating, or relationships and obligations that drain without giving back. Each recognition is a chance to reclaim power, to refill your reserves, and to align your actions with your vitality. Small shifts, consistent sleep, mindful breaks, conscious nutrition, movement compound over days and weeks, transforming your ability to master each hour of your life. Energy is not a static resource. It ebbs and flows, and the way you channel it defines the quality of every hour. When your energy aligns with intention, focus, and purpose, the hours feel abundant, your work feels effortless, and your life begins to expand in ways you may have thought impossible. Mastery of your 24 hours is not just about planning, not just about focus. It is about honoring and harnessing the invisible force that powers every moment, your energy. As we move into the next chapter, remember this: energy is the engine, focus is the steering, and time is the road. Without energy, even the clearest plans falter. In the following chapter, we will explore how busyness can steal your hours, and how intentional prioritization allows you to reclaim them. Understanding the hidden costs of distraction and chaos is the next vital step on the path to true mastery. Chapter 5. The hidden cost of busyness. Have you ever felt exhausted at the end of a day, only to realize you haven't accomplished what truly matters? That heavy, sinking feeling, the one that whispers, "Where did all my time go?" is the cost of busyness. Not the productive kind, the meaningful kind, but the busyness that masquerades as achievement. It fills the hours, keeps us distracted, and robs us of the very essence of time mastery. Busyness is a thief. It sneaks in disguised as importance, as urgency, as obligation. It convinces you that moving quickly, filling every moment, and saying yes to every request is the path to success. Yet the truth is brutal. Constant activity does not equal progress, and frenetic motion rarely produces fulfillment. Without reflection, without prioritization, busyness becomes a trap, a cycle where time is spent, but life is lost. Look around you. How often do you feel pulled in 10 different directions at once? How many times have you completed a task only to realize it barely mattered? This is the invisible cost of busyness. It is the erosion of focus, the depletion of energy, and the quiet surrender of control over your own hours. You trade intention for motion, depth for speed, and clarity for chaos. And when the day ends, you are left with the paradox: exhausted, yet unfulfilled. The antidote is intentional prioritization. This is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters most. Every task, every meeting, every commitment should be weighed against its contribution to your goals, your growth, and your values. Ask yourself, does this action move me forward or merely occupy my time? This simple question has the power to cut through the noise, to separate meaningful work from meaningless motion. Busyness thrives on distraction. Phones, notifications, endless emails, and social obligations fragment your attention. Each interruption steals not just minutes, but momentum. Focus is shattered, energy dissipates, and creativity falters. To reclaim your hours, you must recognize the subtle ways your attention is being hijacked. Awareness is the first step toward freedom. There is also an emotional cost to busyness. Constant activity leaves little room for reflection, gratitude, or presence. Relationships suffer, inner peace wanes, and joy becomes fleeting. The most important moments, conversations with loved ones, quiet reflection, spontaneous creativity, slip through your fingers because your hours are claimed by everything except what truly matters. Consider a simple example. Two people spend 8 hours at work. One approaches the day intentionally, focusing on high-impact tasks and meaningful interactions. The other reacts to every demand, answers every message, and attends every meeting, no matter the importance. By the end of the day, the first person feels accomplished, energized, and in control. The second person feels drained, scattered, and small victories unnoticed. The difference is not luck, it is prioritization. Prioritization begins with clarity. Know what truly matters to you, your goals, your values, your vision for your life. Write them down, review them daily, and let them guide every choice you make. When your priorities are clear, it becomes easier to say no, to set boundaries, and to redirect your energy toward what actually advances your life, rather than just fills your time. Another key is deliberate pacing. Busyness often creates a false sense of urgency. We rush, thinking speed equals efficiency, but speed without direction is chaos. Slow down, focus on the task that matters, and complete it fully before moving on. This is not laziness, it is mastery. Depth produces results that speed never can. The power of reflection cannot be overstated. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what truly moved me forward? What drained me unnecessarily? Where could I have focused better? These reflections are the mirror that reveals the hidden cost of busyness. They allow you to course correct, to reclaim lost hours, and to approach tomorrow with intention rather than reaction. Busyness also erodes energy, the vital force we discussed in the previous chapter. When your attention is fragmented, your energy is fragmented. When your energy is scattered, focus weakens. When focus weakens, productivity plummets. This is the vicious cycle of busyness. It steals your hours, your clarity, and your potential. Breaking free requires courage, discipline, and deliberate choice. The most successful people understand that saying no is not selfish. It is strategic. Every no is a yes to something more important. Every boundary drawn is a safeguard for energy, attention. Mastery of your 24 hours is not about doing everything. It is about choosing what to do, when to do it, and how deeply to commit. This is the invisible work that separates the overwhelmed from the fulfilled. Finally, busyness masks the real question. Are you living your life, or just moving through it? Each hour filled with noise, distraction, or unnecessary activity is a moment of life that cannot be reclaimed. The true cost is not measured in minutes. It is measured in lost opportunities, diminished growth, and unfulfilled potential. Recognize it, and you gain the power to reclaim it. As we prepare to move into the next chapter, carry this insight. Time is your most precious resource, and busyness is its silent thief. To master your 24 hours, you must not only plan and focus, but also protect and prioritize. In the next chapter, we will explore the strategy of elimination, the deliberate act of removing what does not serve you, so that every hour is invested in what truly matters. Chapter 6. The Strategy of Elimination. Picture a garden overrun with weeds. The flowers struggle to grow, their colors muted, their roots choked. Now imagine clearing away every unnecessary plant, pruning what does not serve, leaving only what thrives. Suddenly the garden breathes. Life returns, growth accelerates. This is the essence of elimination, the deliberate act of removing what distracts, drains, or dilutes your attention, so that your hours, energy, and focus flow toward what truly matters. We live in a world of constant stimulation. Notifications, obligations, commitments, and opportunities pull us in countless directions. Every choice to engage comes at a cost often invisible until the hours have passed. The strategy of elimination is about making those costs visible, confronting them with courage, and choosing deliberately where your energy will go. It is not about doing less, it is about doing more of what matters. Elimination is both simple and profound. It begins with awareness. Observe your daily life. Which tasks, meetings, or routines consume energy but yield little value? Which habits distract you from your priorities? Which people, commitments, or digital distractions fragment your focus? The answers reveal the hidden clutter that fills your days, but not your life. Consider the story of a brilliant entrepreneur juggling dozens of projects, yet never finishing what truly mattered. She realized that the endless, urgent tasks, the emails, the meetings, the minor requests, were suffocating her creative power. One by one, she eliminated everything non-essential. She delegated, declined, and deferred. Within weeks, she experienced clarity, momentum, and an almost magical increase in productivity. The secret was not working harder, it was cutting ruthlessly. Elimination is an act of courage because it challenges comfort, obligation, and habit. Saying no can feel uncomfortable, even selfish. Letting go of tasks or relationships that drain rather than empower is never easy. But every time you remove the unnecessary, you reclaim hours that belong to your purpose. You give your attention the room to breathe, and your energy the space to thrive. One of the most powerful tools in elimination is the principle of the essential few. Identify the few tasks, relationships, or priorities that contribute most to your growth, results, and fulfillment. Then, ruthlessly protect them. Everything else becomes secondary, delegated, or eliminated entirely. This is not deprivation, it is focus. It is freedom disguised as discipline. Elimination also applies to mental clutter. Thoughts, worries, doubts, and fears consume a disproportionate amount of energy. High performers do not allow negative self-talk or anxiety to occupy valuable mental space. They consciously redirect thoughts towards solutions, priorities, and possibilities. In this way, elimination is both external and internal, clearing distractions from your environment and clearing chaos from your mind. Time is finite. Energy is finite. Every yes to something unnecessary is a no to something essential. Understanding this simple truth transforms how you approach your day. It shifts the mindset from doing everything to doing the right things. It turns activity into achievement, motion into momentum, and effort into impact. Practical elimination begins with a daily ritual. At the start of each day, review your tasks and commitments. Ask, which of these are truly necessary? Which contribute directly to my highest goals? Which can be delegated, delayed, or removed? Do this consistently, and your life begins to shrink the unnecessary and expand the meaningful. Every day becomes a process of refinement. Elimination also requires boundaries. Your time is sacred. Protect it. Protect it fiercely. Learn to say no without apology. Remove distractions from your environment. Digital interruptions, cluttered spaces, or obligations that do not align with your purpose. Boundaries are the walls that protect the garden of your life, ensuring that your energy flows to what you most value. The beauty of elimination is its compounding effect. A single task removed may save an hour. A meeting declined may save multiple hours in a week. A habit abandoned may restore months of energy over the course of a year. Over time, the accumulation of these small acts of elimination transforms not just your productivity, but your identity. You become a person who chooses deliberately, acts intentionally, and invests fully in what matters. Remember, elimination is not about scarcity. It is about abundance. By removing what is unnecessary, you create space for creativity, for presence, for deep engagement with the work and life that matters. You are no longer a slave to busyness or distraction. You are a curator of your own time, energy, and focus. Finally, elimination is a mindset. It is a daily commitment to ask, does this serve me? Does this align with my purpose? Does this bring value or simply consume my hours? When you answer honestly, the path forward becomes clear. The clutter falls away, the important rises to the surface, and suddenly, mastery of your 24 hours feels not just possible, but inevitable. As we prepare to move into the next chapter, hold this reflection close. Mastery is not achieved by doing everything, but by doing what matters most, and removing what doesn't. In the next chapter, we will explore the art of deep focus, the practices that allow you to immerse yourself fully in your highest priority work, and the discipline that transforms hours into lasting achievement. Chapter 7. The Discipline of Deep Focus. Imagine standing in a crowded room, surrounded by noise, movement, and distraction. Yet somehow you hear a single voice, clear and unwavering, cutting through the chaos. That voice is focus, deep, deliberate, disciplined focus. It is the quiet power that allows the extraordinary to emerge from the ordinary. It is the force that transforms intention into action, hours into achievement, and effort into mastery. Deep focus is not a fleeting state or a lucky coincidence. It is a disciplined practice, a cultivated skill, and a deliberate choice. It requires more than willpower. It demands preparation, protection, and persistence. It is the art of aligning your attention with your purpose, shielding it from interruption, and committing to engagement that is both intense and sustained. Think of a sculptor chiseling a block of marble. Each strike is precise, deliberate, and purposeful. The sculptor does not rush, does not fragment attention between tasks. Every motion is aligned with the vision in the mind. Deep focus works the same way. It allows you to shape your time, energy, and abilities with precision, carving results from the raw material of your hours. The first step in cultivating deep focus is environment. Distractions are the enemy. Even small interruptions, a notification, a stray thought, a passing conversation, can break the chain of concentration. Create a space where focus can flourish. Silence your devices, clear your surroundings, and signal to your mind that this is a sacred period for immersion. When the environment supports your attention, focus is no longer a battle, it is a natural flow. Equally important is clarity of intention. Deep focus requires knowing exactly what you are working on and why it matters. Vague tasks and undefined goals are the enemies of sustained attention. When your purpose is clear, your mind aligns effortlessly with the work, and energy is directed with precision. Every minute becomes meaningful. Every effort compounds. Every hour transforms into momentum. Discipline of focus also involves resisting the temptation to multitask. The mind is not designed to perform at high levels when divided. Each split second spent switching attention carries hidden costs. Lost time, diminished quality, and depleted energy. True mastery comes from committing fully to one task at a time, immersing yourself completely, and completing it with excellence before moving on. Another key to deep focus is rhythm. Our minds and bodies operate in cycles. Some hours are naturally more alert, creative, and productive. Align your most demanding work with these peak periods. Protect these hours fiercely. Schedule breaks for restoration. This is not indulgence, it is strategy. When you work in rhythm with your natural energy, focus becomes effortless, and results multiply. Deep focus is also emotional. It requires a mindset of engagement, curiosity, and commitment. Distractions often lure us because they promise comfort or avoid. Deep focus calls for courage, the courage to sit with challenge, to wrestle with complexity, and to remain present even when the work is difficult or uncomfortable. This courage is what separates those who accomplish from those who merely occupy time. Consider the transformative power of deep focus in action. A writer, a programmer, a designer, or an entrepreneur, immersed fully in their craft, enters a state where creativity flows, problems solve themselves, and productivity accelerates. Hours feel like minutes. Tasks that once seemed impossible are completed with clarity and precision. This is the alchemy of deep focus. Attention becomes energy, and energy becomes achievement. But focus is fragile. It must be trained. Begin with small, intentional periods of undistracted work. Start with 30 minutes, then an hour, then longer. Each session strengthens the mental muscles, deepens concentration, and expands your capacity to engage fully. Over time, deep focus becomes a habit, a natural state, and a reliable tool for mastery. Reflection is the final component. After each session of deep focus, pause and evaluate. What worked? Where did your attention falter? How can you protect it more effectively next time? Reflection is the feedback loop that turns practice into skill, effort into expertise, and discipline into result. Mastering deep focus is not just about productivity. It is about presence. It is about showing up fully in the moments that matter, giving your attention to what deserves it most, and creating results that are not only effective, but meaningful. It transforms work from a chore into an act of purpose, and time from a resource into a canvas for achievement. As you integrate this practice into your life, remember, deep focus is a choice you make every day, every hour, every minute. Protect it, nurture it, and respect it. It is the gateway to mastery, the bridge between intention and impact, and the engine that turns potential into extraordinary results. As we move into the next chapter, carry this thought: focus magnifies energy, but mastery of time requires alignment with priorities. In the next chapter, we will explore the principle of strategic planning, how to design your hours, structure your days, and create a roadmap that turns disciplined focus into consistent achievement. Chapter 8. Strategic Planning for Maximum Impact. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast forest, dense with possibilities, yet unclear which path will lead to your destination. Without a map, every step feels uncertain, every turn risky. Strategic planning is your map. It is the blueprint that turns intention into action, chaos into clarity, and scattered energy into measurable progress. Without it, even the most disciplined effort can drift aimlessly, lost among distractions. Strategic planning is not merely scheduling or listing tasks. It is a deliberate design of your hours, your priorities, and your actions in alignment with your highest purpose. It is the bridge between vision and execution, a compass that guides your energy toward meaningful outcomes. When done well, it transforms overwhelming possibilities into focused action and intention into consistent achievement. The first principle of strategic planning is clarity of vision. You cannot plan effectively without knowing where you want to go. What is your ultimate goal? What would it mean to live a day, a month, a year fully aligned with your purpose? Clarity creates direction. It illuminates the steps necessary to reach your destination, turning vague aspirations into a structured path forward. Once your vision is clear, break it down into actionable components. Goals without action are merely dreams. Identify the milestones that lead to your larger objectives. Map the smaller, specific tasks that, when completed consistently, compound into significant results. This is the essence of strategic planning, transforming ambition into a roadmap that your energy can follow deliberately and purposefully. Time is your most precious resource, and strategic planning ensures that every hour is allocated with intention. Begin by identifying your highest impact activities, those actions that drive your goals forward the fastest. These become the pillars of your daily schedule. Surround them with supportive routines that enhance focus, energy, and momentum. Every decision, every hour, every commitment must serve your strategic objectives. Flexibility is another critical component. A plan is not a prison, it is a guide. Life is unpredictable. Opportunities arise, and challenges appear. Strategic planning requires adaptability, the ability to adjust while keeping your destination in sight. Think of it as navigating with a map and compass, rather than rigidly following a fixed path. The key is to remain aligned with your vision while responding intelligently to changing circumstances. Prioritization within planning cannot be overstated. Every day presents countless choices. Without a plan, the urgent can easily overshadow the important. Strategic planning forces you to distinguish between what demands immediate attention and what contributes most to your long-term objectives. It is this discipline, choosing consistently what matters most, that separates high achievers from the overwhelmed. Consider the story of an artist committed to creating a masterpiece. Without a plan, she spends hours on minor details, reacting to every distraction and progressing slowly. With strategic planning, she identifies the critical stages: concept, draft, refinement, final execution, and allocates her focus accordingly. The result is not just a completed work, but a work of excellence achieved efficiently. Planning multiplies impact. A key tool in strategic planning is the weekly review. Set aside time each week to evaluate your progress. What worked? What consumed energy without producing results? What opportunities can you capitalize on next week? This reflection allows you to refine your plan, adjust your actions, and stay aligned with your ultimate goals. Weekly reviews are the compass recalibrations that keep your journey on course. Strategic planning also integrates time for deep focus and energy management. Your plan should not be a mere to-do list. It must consider your peak energy periods, your need for recovery, and your capacity for sustained engagement. Allocate your most demanding tasks to your highest energy hours. Plan breaks, reflection, and restoration. By respecting your natural rhythms, your plan becomes a living system that maximizes productivity without draining your vitality. Visualization enhances strategic planning. Picture yourself executing your plan successfully, completing each task with focus, achieving each milestone with confidence. This mental rehearsal strengthens commitment, primes your mind for action, and aligns subconscious motivation with conscious effort. When you combine a clear plan with vivid visualization, the pathway to success becomes tangible, not abstract. Another crucial element is accountability. A plan without accountability is merely aspirational. Hold yourself responsible, share goals with a mentor or peer, or track progress visibly. Accountability reinforces commitment, sharpens focus, and ensures that planning translates into action. Consistency, not intention alone, produces mastery. Finally, remember that strategic planning is iterative. It is a dynamic process, evolving as you grow, learn, and achieve. What works today may need adjustment tomorrow. Success is not a single plan executed once. It is the continuous cycle of planning, action, reflection, and refinement. Each iteration sharpens your focus, strengthens your strategy, and brings you closer to mastery over your 24 hours. As you prepare to step into the next chapter, carry this insight. Planning is not about control, it is about empowerment. It transforms your time from a reactive series of moments into a deliberate journey of impact. In the next chapter, we will explore the principle of energy management, the hidden force that amplifies focus, productivity, and resilience, ensuring that every hour is not only used wisely, but lived fully. Chapter 9: Energy Management for Peak Performance. Imagine your body and mind as a powerful engine. Hours are the fuel, focus is the ignition, but energy, the raw vitality that drives every action, is the engine itself. Without sufficient energy, even the clearest plan, the sharpest focus, or the most disciplined schedule falters. Mastering your 24 hours is not just about time management, it is about energy management, the unseen force that determines how effectively you use every hour. Energy is the currency of achievement. It is what transforms tasks into results, effort into progress, and intention into accomplishment. You can have an impeccably planned day, every minute accounted for, yet if your energy is depleted, productivity dwindles, creativity fades, and focus slips away. Energy management is the key to sustaining performance and turning potential into results. The first principle of energy management is self-awareness. Observe your physical, mental, and emotional states throughout the day. When are you most alert? When do your ideas flow effortlessly? When do you feel drained or distracted? Awareness allows you to allocate tasks in alignment with natural energy cycles, maximizing impact and reducing wasted effort. Nutrition, sleep, and movement are the foundation of energy. Your body is not a machine that runs on willpower alone. It is a living system that requires proper fuel, rest, and circulation. Skipping meals, sacrificing sleep, or neglecting physical activity diminishes energy, focus, and resilience. Small, consistent actions, hydration, balanced nutrition, regular movement, and restorative sleep compound into sustained vitality. Mental energy is equally crucial. The quality of your thoughts shapes the quality of your action. Negative self-talk, stress, and cognitive overload drain energy faster than physical exertion. Practices such as mindfulness, meditation, or simple breathing exercises restore mental clarity, reduce fatigue, and sharpen focus. By managing your thoughts, you protect the internal resources that power creativity, decision-making, and problem-solving. Emotional energy drives engagement and motivation. Joy, curiosity, and purpose fuel persistence, while resentment, frustration, or fear erode stamina. Aligning your actions with values and priorities enhances emotional energy, making even challenging work feel meaningful and invigorating. Conversely, tasks misaligned with your purpose or relationships that drain without return sap vitality. Energy management requires curating your emotional landscape as carefully as your schedule. Consider the story of a top athlete. Their coach does not only schedule workouts, they track sleep, nutrition, mental focus, and recovery. Every element is tuned to optimize energy at the right time for peak performance. The difference between good and extraordinary results is not effort alone. It is managing the energy that powers that effort. You too must become the architect of your own energy, designing daily habits that sustain excellence. Strategic breaks amplify energy. Working without pause depletes focus, creativity, and motivation. Structured intervals of rest, reflection, or light movement allow the mind to reset, restoring clarity and resilience. Even brief moments of pause, practiced deliberately, create exponential returns in productivity and decision quality. Energy management is not constant motion. It is intelligent oscillation between action and renewal. Boundaries are another critical element. Energy is wasted when you allow interruptions, distractions, or non-essential demands to fragment your focus. Protect your time as sacred, yes, but also protect your energy. Decline invitations, silence notifications, and create environments where your mind and body can recharge. High performance is not a product of relentless effort. It is the result of focused energy applied at the right time, in the right way. Energy management also requires aligning effort with natural peak. Some hours are better suited for creativity, others for analytical work, and some for reflection or planning. By synchronizing high-priority tasks with peak energy periods, you maximize impact. Low-energy periods become opportunities for routine or restorative activities. Respecting natural rhythms transforms your energy from a fluctuating resource into a predictable, powerful tool. Momentum is fueled by energy. 1 hour of focused, energized work often produces more results than several hours of low-energy effort. Energy management is the multiplier that turns hours into outcomes. By observing, cultivating, and protecting energy, you ensure that every minute is used with power, presence, and purpose. Finally, energy is cumulative. Daily habits compound over weeks and months, creating reserves or deficits that affect long-term performance. Managing energy is a commitment to yourself, a promise to show up fully, consistently, and sustainably. It is the bridge between discipline and excellence, between intention and tangible achievement. As we close this chapter, reflect on this. Time alone does not create mastery. Focus alone does not guarantee result. It is energy, the vitality you bring to each hour, that transforms your day into extraordinary accomplishment. When you manage energy as intentionally as you manage time, the 24 hours you possess become a limitless canvas for achievement. In the next chapter, we will explore the art of reflection and refinement, the final step in mastering your 24. We will uncover how to evaluate your actions, learn from experience, and continually evolve your approach to life, ensuring that every day is a step closer to the person you aspire to become. Chapter 10: Reflection and Refinement. The Path to Mastery. Picture yourself at the summit of a mountain, the wind brushing your face, the horizon stretching endlessly before you. Every step that brought you here required intention, effort, and resilience. Yet, even at this peak, the journey is not complete. Mastery is not a destination. It is a living process, a continuous cycle of reflection, refinement, and evolution. This final chapter is about learning to pause, observe, and improve, transforming every day into a step closer to your highest self. Reflection is the lens through which growth becomes visible. Without it, achievements blur into routine, lessons are lost, and opportunities for improvement vanish unnoticed. By intentionally reviewing your actions, choices, and outcomes, you gain clarity on what works, what drains your energy, and what elevates your results. Reflection is the mirror that reveals both your triumphs and your blind spots. Begin with honesty. Observe without judgment. Ask yourself, did I use my hours intentionally today? Did I act in alignment with my priorities? Where did I shine? And where did I falter? Honest reflection illuminates the path forward, giving you the insight to refine your habits, optimize your energy, and align your actions with your vision. Growth cannot occur without truth, and truth begins with observation. Refinement is the act of applying lessons from reflection. It is the bridge between knowing and doing, between insight and transformation. Each observation, each small realization, is an invitation to adjust, to recalibrate, to optimize. Refinement may mean reordering your priorities, fine-tuning your schedule, or shifting your approach to tasks that once drained your energy. It is a deliberate shaping of your life to serve your highest purpose. Consider the example of a musician practicing daily. Each session includes notes that resonate and those that stumble. By reflecting on each performance, adjusting technique, and refining practice strategies, mastery emerges. Over time, the musician's skill grows exponentially, not because of raw talent alone, but because of disciplined reflection and continuous refinement. Your life is no different. Reflection also connects you to your progress. When you pause to look back, you recognize the growth that may have gone unnoticed in the rush of daily life. Celebrate the wins, however small. They are markers of momentum, evidence that your deliberate actions are producing results. Gratitude for progress fuels motivation, strengthens resilience, and reinforces the belief that mastery is attainable. Refinement requires courage. It asks you to confront weaknesses, acknowledge mistakes, and face the discomfort of change. Yet, discomfort is the birthplace of growth. Each adjustment, each improvement, each small correction compounds over time, transforming ordinary routines into extraordinary results. The courage to refine ensures that effort does not stagnate, and intention evolves into excellence. Journaling or structured review sessions amplify the power of reflection and refinement. Write down insights from your day, week, or month. Capture patterns, successes, and challenges. Document strategies that worked and those that did not. Seeing your journey on paper externalizes thoughts, provides clarity, and creates a roadmap for intentional action. Reflection becomes actionable, and refinement becomes precise. Reflection and refinement are also essential for managing setbacks. Challenges are inevitable, yet they are not failures. They are lessons in disguise. By analyzing missteps, extracting insights, and adjusting approach, setbacks become catalysts for growth. The most successful individuals do not avoid obstacles. They harness them, learning and evolving through deliberate reflection and careful refinement. Another dimension of mastery is the iterative nature of this process. Reflection leads to refinement, which leads to action, producing new experiences and inviting further reflection. This cycle is infinite, yet each iteration elevates your performance, deepens your insight, and strengthens your ability to navigate life with intentionality. Mastery is not a singular achievement. It is the rhythm of continual evolution. Equally important is the emotional and mental perspective gained from reflection. Observing how you respond to challenges, how you invest your energy, and how you prioritize your hours reveals your character, values, and alignment with purpose. This awareness deepens self-understanding, informing choices that are not reactive, but intentional, confident, and grounded in clarity. As you refine your approach, remember that mastery is holistic. It encompasses time management, energy management, focus, planning, and every other principle we have explored. Reflection is the glue that unites them, the lens that makes invisible progress visible, and the compass that ensures each day aligns with your highest potential. Without reflection and refinement, even the best strategies stagnate. With them, excellence becomes sustainable, and mastery becomes attainable. Now, as we conclude this journey, envision yourself fully present in each of your 24 hours, deliberately designing your day with intention, energy, and focus. See yourself pausing to reflect, learning from every experience, refining your actions, and evolving continuously. This is not a distant dream. It is a practical reality waiting to be claimed. Every hour, every choice, every action is an opportunity to practice mastery. The final truth of this audiobook is simple yet profound. You are the architect of your time, the steward of your energy, and the director of your growth. Mastery emerges when reflection and refinement are embraced, when lessons are internalized, and when each day becomes a conscious act of progress. You have the tools, the insight, and the capacity to transform your 24 hours into a life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. Step forward with this commitment. Observe, learn, refine, repeat. Let every day be a canvas, every hour a brushstroke, and every action a step toward the masterpiece that is your life. Mastery is not a distant summit. It is built in the deliberate, inspired choices you make today, in this hour, in this very moment. And now, the journey continues, not in these words, but in the life you create with intention, focus, and courage. Reflection and refinement are your companions forever, guiding you to ever greater heights, ensuring that your 24 hours are not merely spent, but mastered.